So far what we have done is we have created an array, we have initialized it, that means we have added values into it, but we don't know how to make use of that array. We don't know how to access the values. We don't know how to modify or how to change the values of an array. Okay. So in this video, we are going to learn exactly the same thing. So in C++, we have an operation on array which is called as subscripting operation, and with the help of this subscripting operation we can access the elements of an array, we can access the values of an array, and we can also change or modify the values of an array. So let's quickly get started. Let me take you to the VS Code. Let's start with some simple code to understand how the subscripting operation works in C++. So I hope you can see my VS Code. Let's start creating one small array that I showed you on the whiteboard. So I'll create array of type float. Let me name it as f array, and let's not give any size to it. See, writing these opening and closing square bracket is very essential. Okay, if you don't write these opening and closing parentheses or square brackets, and then you give initialize the list, like let's say 1.2, 2.3, 3.4, something like this, the C++ won't be able to understand that this f array is an array. Okay, because it will treat this f array as a normal variable. It will treat it as a normal variable. So in order to tell C++ that this is an array, you need to write open and close square brackets. Okay, this is very essential. You can't forget this. Okay, so let me fill in this initialize the list. Let me add few more elements. Let's say 4.5, 5.6, commas are important, 5.6, 6.7, 6.7, 7.8, 8.9, and let's say 9.0. Okay, let me count how many elements we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have 9 elements in this array. We have to write semicolon over here. Okay, so we have this f array, and in this array we have 9 elements, and all the elements are of type float. Okay, so what will happen is this array will be created in the memory. So let me go back to the whiteboard and let's understand how this array actually looks in the memory. Okay, so this is how this array will look. See, we have 9 elements. This is the first element, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth element. Okay, now let me tell you one important thing. This is very important, very interesting. See, we have one concept, we have one important term in array which is called as index of an array. Okay, let's understand what is index of an array. See, each and every element in the array is not going to have a unique name. This is very important. See, we have this array. This array is of 9 size. Okay, 9 elements are there in this array, but not each and every element is having its own name. Okay, this entire array has one name. So this array, this entire array which starts here and ends here, this entire array has a name called as FARR. This is the name of this array. Okay, now if all these 9 elements are sharing one single name, one common name, then the question arises that how we can access individual element of an array. Okay, because this entire array has this FARR name. Let's say I want to access this particular element from the array. How I can do that? So for that we have something called as indexes. Each and every element of an array will have a unique index, and the index starts from 0 in C++. Okay, so the first element of an array will have index as 0, second element will have index as 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, always remember in C++ index starts with 0. This is very important. Okay, always remember in C++ index starts with 0. Each and every element is going to have unique index and it is going to start with 0. Now it is very simple. See, if you want to access this element from FARR, then you can tell FARR that I want to access the second element. Okay, or I'll say element with index 2, not second element, actually it is third element in the array, but it has index as 2. So you can ask FARR to give you the element with index 2. Okay, and in order to tell FARR to give you the element with index x or some index, you can use subscripting operator. Okay, now this subscripting operator is this square brackets. If you want to access the element with index 2, then you can write something like this. So you can write FARR of 2. FARR followed by opening and closing square brackets, and in these square brackets you can write the index. This is the index of the element that you want to access. Okay, this thing, this opening and closing square bracket, when you write it after the array name, it is called as subscripting operator. Okay, now this subscripting operator help you to get individual element of an array. Let's understand, let's do this in our code base, in our VS Code. So let me go back to the VS Code. See, what I'll do is, let's print all the elements of this array. Okay, so I'll write cout. In order to print first element, what you can do is you can write FARR of 0. See, if you write FARR of 0, it will print the first element. Similarly, let's print the second element. You can write FARR of 1, third element FARR of 2, and so on. So let's print fourth element FARR of 3, then fifth element FARR of 4. So in order to print nth element, or in order to get nth element, you need to write array name in square bracket n minus 1. Okay, because index starts from 0. So that's why I'm saying when I want to get fifth element of an array, I'm writing array of 4 because the index starts from 0. So basically we have to keep on doing this till our index becomes 8. Okay, see, in our array we have 9 elements. Okay, so the last element is going to have index as 8, and that's the reason we can access the elements from the array till index 8, starting from index 0. So yeah, this is pretty much of it. Now let me just add ENDL everywhere. See, let me add ENDL. Or instead of ENDL, we can also add comma like this. This will be better. Yeah, so let's see. All right, so now let's compile our code. For that, let me write G++ followed by file name is 04 array operations subscripting.cpp, and then let's compile this file. You can see it is printing the array. It is printing 1.2, 2.3, 3.4, all the elements like 9.0. For 9.0, it is just printing 9. Okay, because by default the float elements get shown as integer elements when you use cout. Okay, this is very important. So you can see all the elements of an array are getting printed. So in this way the subscripting operator works in C++. I hope you are very clear with the syntax. It is very simple. You just need to write name of the array, and then after that you need to write subscripting operator. How it looks, it basically looks like opening and closing square bracket, and inside those opening and closing square brackets you need to write the index which you want to access. Okay, so super easy, super simple. Now let's see how we can change the value, change some element. Okay, let's say you want to change the element which is present at third index. Okay, so if I go back to the whiteboard, see, at the third index right now we have 4.5. Okay, so let's say you want to change it and you want to make it as 10.5. Okay, this is what you need to do, let's say. So how you can do it? So let's see it in VS Code. So let me go back to VS Code. What we can do is, see, we need to change the element which is present at third index. So I'll write FARR, okay, F array of 3. So in this way I'm accessing the third index element, okay, or element with index 3, and then I'll say change it or assign this new value to that element. So I'll say assign 10.5 to it. That's it. Okay, so if you write something like this, if you write FARR of 3 is equal to 10.5, then what will happen is 10.5 will get assigned to FARR of 3. Now how we can verify this, that 10.5 has got stored into FARR of 3? So it is very simple. What you can do is you can just do cout f array of 3. So if you print if you do cout f array of 3, then it will print 10.5, or it should print 10.5. So let's see it. See, before that, let me comment these lines. We don't need to see them now. So let's focus on this line. Let's see what we get as the output. So I'll compile this file again. I'll execute it now. You can see it is printing 10.5. Okay. So in this way, the value of an element is also getting changed. And for changing the value, we are using the same operator, which is subscripting operator. The only difference over here is, in this case, the subscription operator is coming to the left hand side of assignment operator. Okay, and in this way the element's value is getting changed. So it is super simple, super easy. I hope you got all the things that we have covered so far.